You're going through this difficult time, you're like, why is it happening to me? Like, why me? Why me? Why me? This hurts so much. I always have to come back with, the universe has your back. And when you look back, all of the dots will connect. Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to this week's episode of It Takes Grit. How are you feeling? Are you ready to get some energy today? You're like, Rebecca, the title is Building Perseverance Through Difficult Times. Why are you so energetic? Well, because we want to still bring energy to every situation, especially if it's a challenging one, because we make better decisions when we have more energy. Yes, and that's how we get to change our state. Everything is about energy, whether we are climbing Mount Everest, whether we are making a decision to leave a relationship, whether we're making a decision to switch our job or start a new business. Everything takes grit. And that's exactly why I have called this podcast the It Takes Grit podcast. And I wanted to say, check out this new little studio that I have. I'm very impressed. I've even got my book up there. If you've not got a copy of the #1 best-selling book from Amazon, oh yes, It Takes Grit, why don't you just go ahead and check that out? It's on Amazon. You can also get it in Rebecca-Louises.com, but Amazon is the place to get it. And it's all about the grit that you need to help you get to where you want to be, which is exactly what this podcast is as well. It's got some funny stories in there, my life stories, but it's not just about me, right? Because that's boring. We don't just want to hear about somebody. But this book is about how my triumphs and tragedies have created something like epic and the mindset that I've been able to have. And I honestly feel like a lot of that book is about this section that we're going to talk about right now, how to build that perseverance through difficult times. Because if you read my book, there's multiple things that happen, that happen for me during life, right? However, it's how that we broke through with them and where we are on the other side, not having that victim mentality and just saying, you know what, I'm so grateful for all of the things that happened, whether they felt like they were super positive or whether I felt like they were like, wow, this is a really challenging time. So we're going to talk about that perseverance today. And the first thing is that, and this might be a little bit controversial, you want to be surrounded by people who are going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear, right? There's going to be a balance, right? You definitely need to be able to vent to people, and that's really important when you are going for a difficult time. You want to say, hey, I'm just wanting to vent right now, or hey, I'm wanting to vent and I need your feedback, your honest opinion. Now, what I love so much about my girlfriends and my friend group and my peer group is they will call me out on my bullshit, right? They'll be like, Rebecca, that probably wasn't a very good idea. You're human, so you made a mistake, so no problem. But they won't be like, you know what, yeah, you go for it, right? Then I just don't have friends like that. We call each other out on our bullshit. And that's how you get better. And that's how you build that perseverance through those difficult times, because you know that you have a group of people around you that really do have your back. That's what you need when you're going through difficult times, someone who has your back. And somebody who has your back is going to tell you the truth about things, right? Even though the truth might be difficult to hear, a real friend is actually going to tell you the truth. Because when you're going through difficult times, it's so easy to blame other people. Anybody else feel that? Like when you're going through a difficult time, it's so easy to blame somebody else. Now, I'm going to tell you a really quick tip of how you get complete control back of your life. You take 100% responsibility with zero excuses. And when you do that, it's amazing how much control that you get back and how much everything just releases. Because if you have built up anger towards somebody else, right, all you're doing is you're giving that more energy. You're giving that more energy and you're giving that more anger. And if you don't get what you want back from that person, which they don't know what you need, and it's not up to them if they give you what you need either, then you're always going to be living in this world of like, oh, I wanted this from somebody. Rather than just saying, you know what? I own it. It was my fault. I take 100% responsibility with zero excuses, and now I can move on. So when you're going through that difficult time, it's important to reflect back and just say, okay, what were the things that I could have done better, so that you grow from it. And you're like, wow, this is actually amazing, because I'm going to become an even better human being, because once I've got through this in this difficult times, I've learned this about myself. I've learned this. I've learned that I want to be this type of person in the future. Rather than saying like, well, this person did this to me and this person did that to me, and constant blame victim mentality. All right? So you want to be around people who are going to give you the honest truth of what it's going to be like. All right, next thing, universe is always testing you, my friends. The universe has always got your back. Whether you've made decisions that you're proud of, maybe you've done things that you're not proud of, maybe you have, you're going through this difficult time, you're like, why is it happening to me? Like, why me? Why me? Why me? This hurts so much. I always have to come back with, the universe has your back. And when you look back, all of the dots will connect. We've all been through like difficult things in life and experiences that we wish that maybe they didn't happen, all right? But there's always a reason for it. And if you live in a place where, okay, there was a reason that this happened, it's gonna build that perseverance through those difficult times, right? Because you try and rationalize, well, why did this person do this? Or why did I do this? Or why did this happen? And you're trying to find the logical answer to something that you don't really know. The universe knows. Whatever you believe in knows, right? And so you've got to allow the universe to have your back and trust the journey. Like, it might even be another 10 years before you even like figure out, oh my goodness, this was the reason that this happened. This was the reason that this happened. I didn't even realize that this all kind of connected. Don't worry about that right now. You will build that perseverance by just knowing that the universe has got your back, because you won't have that resentment, right? You won't feel like, oh my goodness, like just that built up anger. Now, a lot of times when you're going through difficult times, we're going to talk about the 5 stages of grief, but you have some anger inside of you. You have some sadness inside of you. You go through periods of the day where you're like, I feel amazing. And then you're like, I'm crying in the sofa. I mean, I knew that when I was going through, my divorce. I knew it was the right thing to do 8 years ago. No, I actually got engaged 8 years ago, 2013. And then I got divorced like 18 months afterwards. No, I don't think it was that. It was literally 6 months marriage. Well, actually, no, I'm not even divorced yet. I get actually officially divorced on the 25th of February, 2022, all right? Because my divorce didn't actually go through. But it will do. And that's the thing, is that we often, there were moments where I was like, so sad and upset and had anger and had hate, but I just knew inside that it was the right thing to do. And I look back now and I just knew that I just had to keep on showing up and being around people that supported and loved me. And I look back now and it's like all the dots connected. Like, I wouldn't be in the relationship that I'm in now, had I not gone through that. And if I hadn't had the guts to break away from that relationship, I wouldn't be where I am today, with my absolute soulmate that I'm so happy with, who's my best friend. I literally feel like I found like the male version of energy of me. And it feels so good. But at those times where you're going through those difficult, periods of your life, it's hard to imagine what that is. But I want you to imagine it. I want you to kind of visualize like what it looks like. I used to be in relationships like, this can't be it. But I knew what it is that I wanted. Like, I literally visualized it. And now I have the exact relationship and life that I wanted from the beginning. And so allow the universe to guide you, right? As you're going through this process of, the perseverance of, oh my goodness, like some days feel amazing, some days feel difficult, I'm going through this challenging time. Know that the universe has your back. And that comes on to my next thing, is showing up. All right. Now, when we don't show up, we typically feel worse. You feel worse, right? You're like, oh my goodness, like I was going to go to a workout class, but I just didn't feel like it, so I didn't go. Now, I'm not saying you go to the workout class and you beast it and you're the best in the class. It's probably not going to happen if you're going for a difficult time. However, it's going to give you a little bit, right? It's going to give you a little bit of breathing through it. Like, okay, I feel a bit better. If we keep feeling sorry for ourselves, if we stay in that victim mentality, we are never going to get through those difficult times. We're not going to build that perseverance so that when something in the world happens next, right, we're already set up for it. I remember going through breakups and I would go into hot yoga. Hot yoga was my place of like serenity, and I just felt so calm there because I could cry because it was hot in there and everyone was sweaty, and that was my release. But I made sure that I got in the room. I made sure that I still got on the Zoom calls. Now, I didn't always show up like perfectly. In fact, we never show up perfectly. However, I did keep showing up. I did keep doing the things that I needed to do and keep surrounding myself with people because it kept on lifting me up. If you're away from all of that, you're literally going into a sinking hole. Like you're literally just like losing yourself. You're going into a hole. And so what I encourage you to do is, even if it's challenging, just show up a little bit. Get your body in the room. I talk about the 3 ways of showing up. Get your body in the room. Your mind comes with you next time. Before you know it, your mind is there, your body is there, and there's people with you on this journey. Right? So keep on showing up. Find that grit inside of yourself just to do a little bit. Yes, we go through those difficult times, and if you completely take yourself away, from everything, then it's going to be so much harder to bounce back. And of course, we do need to rest. It is so important to listen to your body, right? There are days where you're just going to want to like veg and do nothing. If you're going through heartbreak, if you're going through, a death in the family, maybe you're going through just a personal crisis in your life, right? It's okay to have those off times. But what I encourage you is don't have an off day. Life is way too short to have an off day. Definitely don't let that roll on to 2. I can give you an off hour, an off couple of hours where you veg on the sofa, you watch a movie, you eat some chocolate, but then we're going to put our big girl pants on and we're going to realize that life is amazing. Life is incredible. We are so blessed. We get to go outside and the fresh air and put our feet in the sand and, go ice climbing and climb mountains and sunbathe and read books. I mean, like, there's just so many fun things that we get to do in life. But we always go to the things that, oh my goodness, like we don't find the fun in like the simple things. So I encourage you to, yes, rest and feel your body, but don't like use it as an excuse. I feel like there's a big thing about like, well, self-care, I'm going to continue to, I just need to look after my body today. And that's fine. However, really looking after yourself is not sitting on the sofa feeling sorry for yourself. I'm sorry, but it's just not. It's not going to build any perseverance. It's not going to get you through a difficult time. I'm telling you, if you spend a whole day feeling sorry for yourself on the sofa, it's gonna go to day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, and before you know it, a whole month has gone past where you could have just picked yourself up a little bit more each day and been over it. Because the more that you sit in that area of feeling sorry for yourself and I'm in a difficult time, the more time you're going to stay there. It's like a knock-on effect, right? So pick yourself up. You can do this. You have that perseverance. And then lastly, there are 5 stages of grief, right? We have denial, we have anger, we have bargaining, depression, and acceptance, right? The first thing when we're going through, a difficult time is we deny it. This isn't happening, it's just not. You just don't even want to believe it. And then you get that anger, right? That anger inside of you where, you don't want the world to succeed. You don't want anybody else, in your life. You want to blame everybody else, right? And that's so normal, right? We all go through those things of like blaming other people and anger. But the shorter that you can make that anger part, right? The less energy and negative energy it's going to give out. You're going to move on to bargaining. And then the fun part, the depression part of it, right? Where you are going to be sitting on the sofa and feeling sorry for yourself and watching a couple of movies and eating some chocolate. But then the quicker that you get through that, you keep picking yourself up by being around amazing people, you're going to accept it. And the quicker that you can go through those 5 stages of grief in the right time, you don't want to like force it, right? Because sometimes we go, oh, I've accepted it. Oh, I've accepted it. It's all fine. And then you realize, oh my goodness, like I have not accepted that. Like I need to go back to the first one. I'm still in denial about it. Actually, no, and now I'm angry about it. Oh my goodness, now I'm bargaining like why it happened. And so it's so easy to go through those 5 stages of grief too fast. And everybody is different. By the way, everybody is totally different. But maybe you are going through a difficult time right now and you just need to identify where you are on those 5 stages of grief so it can help you process and learn what the next step is going to be. Because we are so blessed to be on this incredible planet. Every day is a new day to start fresh, to be grateful, to be a great human being, to help other people, to make a difference, to let go of the past, to show up better than we did the day before, right? Just to add something a little extra to the world. Every day is a blessing. With Alfie, he's going through chemotherapy and we wake up every day and I'm like, Alfie, made it another day, right? Because he's going through chemo. But why don't we do that anyway? Why don't we do that regardless if something bad is happening into our life? So maybe you're not even going through something that's difficult right now. Maybe you just want to, appreciate and be grateful and have so much gratitude for every single day that you are on this planet. So I hope that if anybody is going through a difficult time, just know that you're going to be okay, right? You're listening to me right now. You want to make a difference, and be easy on yourself. Give yourself a pat on the back. Give yourself some grace. Take a big deep breath in. Exhale everything out. Know that everything is going to be okay, and it's all in your hands. It's all your choice. You get to choose where your emotions, go, whether you start to pick yourself back up or if you want to stay in that area just a little bit. But I promise you that life is too short. And, if you were to go tomorrow, would today be an exciting day that you left this planet? Are you proud of the last day that you spent on this planet? Because nothing is that bad. Really, we're so blessed. We don't have problems. There's people in the world that are way worse off than us and just wish that we were in our own situation. Sometimes I listen to people and I'm just like, I get it because it's your problem. But really, can we all just grow up a little bit? Like, we're so privileged. We're so blessed that the life that we have right now, and we're complaining about this. Like, come on. Like, let's just put life into perspective a little bit. Put life into perspective where somebody really is struggling. And maybe you just need to take it from a different perspective and realize, hey, your life is pretty awesome. You have amazing people around you. Your friends love and adore you. You've got family with you. You've got a roof over your head. You got food in your mouth, right? I mean, what really else do we need? So just start to think about all the great things that you do have rather than focusing on all of those difficult things that are making life a little bit more of a struggle right now. So I hope that gives a little bit of perspective. You know me, I'm always a bit cutthroat, straight to the point, no BS, but I think that, a good friend is always going to tell you the truth. And I love you guys so much. Make sure that you watch out because we got some more Everest interviews coming up. Everything Everest is coming very, very soon. I love you guys so much. Thank you for all the love and support. And of course, someone right now is going through a difficult time. And even if you don't, I promise you, if you post this on your Instagram, your Facebook, YouTube, all the places that you're at, someone is going to see it and realize, wow, that's exactly what I needed today. You won't even realize you're just putting it out in the universe. There's going to be somebody in your life that needs this information today. This is not me that I made up. This is just what I learned from my mentors. I'm just passing it along. I'm just the messenger, and you get to be that messenger today and be that hero in somebody else's life. So share this on your social media, share this with a friend, somebody who's going through a difficult time, and know that we can create and build that perseverance to get through anything. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you on next week's episode. Bye, everybody.